Make a motion to call for meeting to order. There we go.
It's 2 o'clock. Call the meeting, the Pelican Preserve Advisory Committee of Thursday, August 14th to order. We can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do a roll call. Marty, you want to start?
Marty Mankinfeld, present.
Allison Big here. Ted Hedges.
John Berry.
Tricia Zimmerman.
Laura Leroy, and online we have Peggy Hall, so if you want to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that Peggy participate remotely due to extenuating circumstances.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Carried unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, I actually have a public comment. That doesn't happen very often at your meetings. I do have one for Sherry Schiller regarding 9A, the communication plan. Just remind you, you get 3 minutes. There's a cool little thing up here. It'll start flashing yellow when you're almost out and red when you're done.
Hello.
Will you just state your name for the record, please?
Sherry Schiller. I live in Pelican Preserve. I'm here because I read the number 9A, the members items establishment of the PPAC communication plan, and I think it's wonderful. And I think it's something we've been needing for a very long time. Some of you know I come to a lot of meetings. I've been coming to meetings because I couldn't understand it all. And so I've been doing this for a long time and writing down how it all interfaces and works. And I read this, and Ms. Zimmerman, it's really well written, and I understand it, and I think it will calm the waters. So that's all I have to say. I don't need 3 minutes. That's
Okay.
Thank you.
Compliment.
I do not have any other public comments.
Approval of the minutes.
If you guys can make sure you use your outside voices, because we got to get all the way out to there for Peggy.
All right, so this is Marty. I make a motion to approve items 5 Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Motion by Marty, second by Patricia to approve the 3 minutes of the safety and security, the PPAC budget workshop, and the PPAC minutes of June 12th. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Financials.
And I actually have the office ones. I finished them up at about 1:25 today, so let me see if I can get to them.
Wow.
I got them this morning and got to them this afternoon. Seriously. Maybe I can't.
I don't remember if I
This
had
is what
any.
we're looking at.
Yeah. I had the ones for July. Let me send them to the board. Oh, but it's not letting me.
Should 6B be included down there in 8A?
We had a lot of discussion about that, and I used to include it under member items, but I was told that you guys wanted it under financial, so.
Just so we can talk about it at the same time, so I think why it's there, so.
Can you scroll up a little bit? Thank you.
Capital outlay, admin, building, construction of $265,000. Is that going to carry over into next year?
You guys didn't actually, let me look, just a minute. I can only do one thing at a time, give me just a second.
That's what we have to decide in the budget.
I know we budgeted that for this year, but we're not going to spend it, right? So it just goes to next year. I just want to be clear.
Yep,
I don't really have a lot
sent
of differences on mine, but,
Are we moving on to yours, Ed?
yeah,
That's it.
it's just a little different. One thing I do is if you look at mine, the numbers are pretty much the same. And as you go down, there's unassigned. That's the unassigned in our fund balance, but that includes the budget that hasn't been, this year's budget that hasn't been spent yet. So what I do in this is I look at, see if there's additional revenue coming in. And so at the end of June, there was a potential of 31,000 more revenue coming in from the tax assessment. As of the end of July, thank you, Laura, for putting that out there this morning. I was sitting in the hospital and updated my thing, but basically 100% of the taxes have been collected for this year, according to the end of July. And then the unspent budget as of the end of June is 1.3 million. So that shows that we have I call it a fund balance surplus, or surplus in our fund balance of right at $500,000. And if you include the 260-some thousand for the admin building that won't be spent, that's about 765. And when I look at July's, it's just under 8. That number is actually just under 800,000 that we will have in undesignated funds at the end of the year. It'll probably be more than that because you can see we're kind of running under budget in a lot of areas. So
I did a little more work too. So
yeah.
Here's this is July's.
And you say 632.
And then I actually, when I was doing these, I ran, because you had asked, it's bigger. This was as of yesterday. So this is where you guys are at for budget. This is what you spent today. Here's what's encumbered. So as of right now, you have $609,000 left in your budget. I didn't do predictions for, like the normal expenses that come in that are not encumbered. But this was transfers in and transfers out, and that's all related to paying off the bonds. I took some swags down here for carry forward. Ponds obviously is going to be short because they're already $67,000 short for the year with their, unless they don't spend all of this. So I just kind of sort of did what you did, but not quite. Just trying to kind of figure out where you guys could possibly have some money if you wanted to use some of it for next year for carry forward.
So I'm very appreciative of both Ed and you, Laura, that these are so much closer than they used to be. It used to be like looking at two different entire organizations, and now I can see the variance. So I appreciate both your efforts.
So this was July. So they're hot off the press. I mean, literally finished them up at about 120, so.
Okay, so anything of note?
No, there's really nothing that shows on here that didn't show on that thing that just popped up, or on ads. We're very similar. Mine are actuals, his are actuals with some projections, so that's why his are just slightly different than mine.
Yeah, the one thing when I look at financials that Stephen Bloom does and presents to the board, he presents a carry forward number. And from what I can tell, that is just the difference in fund balance from one year to the next. So how much it grew or shrank from the previous year. It doesn't really tell you how much surplus has accumulated in that fund balance. And that's what I try to look at and come up with how much has accumulated in the fund balance. And so when I look at, July, or if you just, let's look for simplicity, look at the June that she's got up there. We could have about 800,000 if we, without the building, but right now, there's about $500,000. And in my mind, that's a good amount to carry in the fund balance because our budget year ends the end of September. So then you have expenses in October and November, and then your revenues start coming in November. From your people start paying their taxes in November. So you have, I know there's other
Yeah,
balances around that they can use, but if you look at simplistic like a checkbook, at the end of September, we need a balance in our checkbook so we can pay the expenses in October and November until we start
yeah.
getting payments in again.
We generally try not to spend anything until December. January is ideal because a lot of people don't pay them until closer to the end of December because they try to get them in before the end of the calendar year for tax purposes. So large expenses, I mean, obviously the thing you need data, your utilities, your, the gatehouse, those things get paid no matter what. But the bigger expenses, we try to hold off till like January.
Yeah.
Not saying that you can't have them all lined up ready to go, but we try not to have to pay for them until January, usually. And not like you guys don't have money, so you have, we were talking about that this morning, you have a whole bunch of T-bills, so there is cash, it just may not all be sitting in your account, so. Yes, so it's not like you're broke.
Right.
Hey, Laura.
So that's,
Somebody said something, I hear somebody, hi,
I just wanted to make sure you knew I was there now.
yeah, we can hear you, I didn't have my Teams up, give me a second. I was doing some other stuff on top of that, so I didn't see you log in. Tom is online. So you're gonna vote to log
We have a
in?
motion to allow Tom to participate.
I'll make a motion that Tom be able to participate remotely due to extreme circumstances.
I second it.
Moved and seconded to allow Tom to participate remotely. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Welcome, Tom, sorry I missed you.
Hey, I'm there.
You're a little quiet, but we can hear you.
Okay. If there's nothing else, I guess we can go on to the next agenda item. Research zone,
Subcommittee updates.
safety and security report.
Hard to hear.
Tom, I'm probably gonna mute you, so you'll just have to unmute yourself whenever you want to talk, because there's a lot of background noise.
I do have a question on this. It came up, do we, and maybe Bob knows, when did we completed the power washing of the boulevard sidewalks 2 or 3 months ago, didn't we?
No, we completed washing of the bricks at the entryway by the guardhouse.
That was about a month ago.
But they
yeah.
had 5, 6 months ago, they started power washing all the sidewalks.
Kind of ongoing, I don't know those,
Okay. Okay. It just got brought up at PPCA meeting that the sidewalks were dirty.
just put a ticket in for that.
But I,
I was gonna let Paul know too, and he can add, I'll put a note on here to add an
Well-
update at their meeting. I can have them, they have a meeting in 2 weeks, we can give an update at their meeting.
I thought we completed all the boulevard sidewalks, so.
Well, I'd like
several months
to,
ago.
I'd like to commend the Safety and Security Subcommittee on their traffic studies. It was very detailed and revealing from their last meeting. So I appreciate the effort that they put forth in that. We obviously don't have a speeding problem at Pelican.
Now, we only have a perpetual speeder at 4 o'clock in the morning.
We may have a stopping issue with the stop signs,
Yeah.
but not blatant speeding around the neighborhoods.
Well, at least not off-season.
Well, that's the question, what, is that an off-season number and not on-season number?
It was the recent, I don't know, last month.
It was just,
They just got it working.
we just got everything.
We'll see.
located, yeah.
Well, now it's missing from Pelican Preserve Boulevard.
Well, when I was leaving today, a guy flew by me probably 50 mile an hour or more. And as I honked at him, he continued to blow by the stop sign there at Aviano turnout. I mean, really flying. And turns out he was a 20-some-year-old guy that was parked at the stop sign out there by the main highway.
Yep.
So I pulled up alongside of him and gave him a piece of my mind. And so there is speeding. It may not be as often as what they think it is, but there is a lot of speeding in there.
Well, the report put out that it was only a minor percentage out of all the traffic that went past them.
Okay, well,
It'll be curious to see what happens when they redo this in season, so I'll look forward to that.
I will point out too, as the liaison, that they were looking at some areas. One of the things that the group is struggling with is there've been some requests for certain signage on certain roads, and there are certain intersections and things to look at. And they had 4 places where there might need to be 1 or 2 signs installed. So they, the district went out to get a quote from a traffic engineer to analyze it. And the quotes came back at a little over $30,000 for each location.
Jeez.
And so the group thought that was ridiculous, and we're kind of putting all that on hold. So if that's the process that we have to go through now, it's going to be cost prohibitive to, maybe address some of those unless they're real critical issues. Okay, anything else from safety and security? What's the next one? Landscaping report. Other than the palm getting hit, everything's kind of on hold due to the summer season while everybody's up north, so.
Yeah.
Do we have to take any action on these, Laura?
Nope, the information only.
Any
Unless
comments?
there's something, unless there's an action requested in it, you don't do anything, they're just for information.
More elderly.
Pause.
Mr. Zander.
Well, at least they hit a palm tree and not the building.
There you go, Mr. Positivity.
Still got anything to add to his report?
No, the only thing I want to just call out, most of it's self-explanatory, but I think it also is, but the 5-year maintenance contracts have been completed and all signed off by the Board of Supervisors. We have 5-year contracts now in place. The current contracts we had before increased 4% every year. Now we have, each of them are a 5-year contract, 4% increase in year 4. And over the 5-year period, it is saving us $160,963 with the bid process and bringing this stuff together underneath one vendor. I don't, net, we're saving quite a bit of money. It'll help for some of my over expenditures in prior years. Any questions?
Thank you, Doug.
One other thing on ponds, as kind of a GIS coordinator too, we've been asked to verify that all the aerator equipment was on easements and appropriate easements and stuff. And I went through a lot of that. We're in the process working with Passarella to get things updated so that we actually have a symbol in there for each compressor cabinet and all the valve boxes at the edge of the ponds, things that are assets that would want to transfer over to the district's asset management system. But there were 5 locations, 5 pond area locations where I could not find either platted or recorded easements to cover those, and those were sent to the district for further investigation. But we're in pretty good shape as far as all of that stuff. Much better than landscaping and that's all pretty much covered by existing drainage or utility easements.
That's a small percent.
Yeah.
The 5 years is a very small percent compared. I would have thought it'd have been more than that.
And most of those were associated with the condo areas and stuff. So
That's good.
just so everybody knows that's kind of ongoing and that too. So. All right. What's next?
Doug, do you want to talk about the weir level?
I had that on my thing,
Okay, I just want to make sure that people are aware.
yeah, the staff, district staff, Stephanie, lowered the weir to 50%. We're doing, the one thing there, the last thing, I have Jim Light and Stephanie are doing some experiments as to how fast they can lower the water level, like for hurricanes and things like that. And yesterday, they lowered the weir, the two weirs to 50%. And we're measuring how fast the water level goes down, so that if a hurricane's coming, we can be prepared to have the water level before the hurricane versus trying to lower it when it's after the hurricane.
Ask a dumb question, do they go down faster if they're fuller?
Yes.
With the pressure.
Well, they go down faster just because there's more water going over the weir.
Okay.
I don't think the pressure has as much to do with it as the level of the water.
It's
Just a dumb engineering question, you know.
It's kind of fun, we can see the water, we can tell when it's going, so we can actually see it moving when it's behind the office, yeah.
But I don't think we've touched 38, that one weir that's just for the one pond. It's not been touched.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else for Doug? Okay.
Everyone's favorite subject.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I have the budget that you're gonna look at is the same as what we looked at last time. The change I made, and it's not set in stone, I actually have my thing waiting to add your pages into it so I can post it for the board meeting next week. The only change that was made, and we were talking about this last time, but you hadn't made a decision.
We were trying to get it to 3%.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's done more than once. It seems awful long for your budget. There.
Oh, there it is.
So this was the this was the magic number that took the chart to 3%. When we had the board meeting last week, I did let them know that that has not been voted on, that was just a number that was plugged in there because you're trying to get to 3%, and that you guys are going to be meeting today, and then making your final recommendations for the meeting next week. So they don't do anything with your budget. They didn't touch the budget. They didn't make any changes to the numbers or anything. So everything sits exactly as it did when we met a month ago for you guys.
Okay.
Okay, so that 263 that we put in is essentially what was in what we had used in the 25 budget. It was 265, 480, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's no right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're basically just taking the,
Yeah, you had offset that down here, so you didn't actually assess it. You had put it into your plan that we were expecting to have those costs, but you did offset them down here, so they actually were not assessed. So we haven't actually collected their costs. But that was part of it. Part of it was that it aligned well with this number, and it got you to the 3% that you were aiming for.
Right.
So that 263,000 is a one-time use out of our savings account, is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Should you choose to do that, yes.
So I'd make a motion that we keep it at 263,000 to lower the annual budget to a 3% increase.
I'd second that.
it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Laura, does that have?
can you hear me? It's Tom.
Yep, I can hear you. Yep.
Tom,
No, I
You
can't.
can hear me? So question, was that one motion or two? The 263, I understand, but what was the 3%?
The 263 gets you to 3%. That's the increase for the assessment will be 3% if you use the 263,000. So one
Okay, I
motion.
just want to be,
Yeah,
Right,
roughly
I'm
3%, Tom.
That was my
yeah,
intent.
I'm supportive of the 263. I just didn't want to have an arbitrary 3%.
No, that gets you to a 3% increase.
Okay, I'm good.
Well, this is exactly what we talked about last meeting, so
Yep.
I don't think there should be too many.
Nothing else changed, and I didn't find any other ways to help you out to make it any lower. We looked, trust me, we looked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just for the other members, I just want to refresh. Last year, the 25 assessment was, should have been, for the residential, should have been 200,000 more, or about $70 per residence, because of an error that they found in the methodology at the last minute, and we used.
It was a calculation or an error in the disbursement.
Yeah, so our 25 assessments were kind of artificially $70 per residence less than they should have been if we would have gone through that.
Right.
So just that, the bond payoff that we did, basically, on average for the old Pelican, the people off Pelican Boulevard, it's an average savings of $186. It's a little less for the condos, and it's like 240 or something for the estate homes across the bridge up north. But on average, it's 186. So even with the 140 high water increase, half of the Pelican residents would have been seeing a decrease. So those, in their tax bill, they'll see an even bigger decrease with the 3%.
They'll see about a 1% increase, or instead of a 3% increase?
No, they'll actually see a decrease.
They're gonna see a
There was a
decrease.
substantial decrease. But it
Okay.
depends on the, it varied, that bond varied based on the condos, single family, and estate homes, all had a different sliding scale, but on average it's $186. And just we kept, the three committees basically kept the operating portion of their budgets flat, for this year. But we had to absorb $181,000 in allocated admin costs, which was a 40% increase. There's the $454,000 for the admin building in this year's budget that had to be absorbed, and $91,000 for the 15% portion of Parks and Rec. So we would have seen a much larger increase, except for the way the methodology is. The gateway assessment area basically, pays part of our roads to the tune of over $500,000, or about $200 per residential ward in Pelican. So, it's just want everybody on the group to be aware of those dynamics, that there were some substantial increases in this budget, and we've offset some of it, but with this 263 to keep it down, but it could have been a lot worse than what even the high water mark budget was. So.
And this is a perfect example of when we get into the communication plan, that we need to have this summarized so that it's absorbable for the majority of the population on the impacts that we saw from the methodology and the admin increases and the offsets. So if we could have that be one of our items, I think that would greatly inform the community.
Yeah, and I said, I am more than welcome to take questions if people want to call me, email me, whatever. I mean, this is my responsibility, so I know it inside and out. I've been working through that methodology sheet from the ground up, so questions people have about how things are calculated, whatever, I'm happy to answer. Send them my way.
Well, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of using 263,000 of our undesignated surplus or undesignated funds to, as carry forward into the 26 budget. Say
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Or Tom, did you vote?
I don't think you let me vote from the car, but I'm going to be walking in the door in 2 minutes.
You can vote from the car, they let you, you can fully participate remotely.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it reluctantly, I'll say okay.
Could have been worse, Tom.
Hold your nose and vote.
A qualified yes.
All right, I'm sending it off. Click and send. I had it all ready to go, and if I needed to change pages, I would have done that before I sent it, but it's all good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for all your work on that too, Laura.
You're welcome. That's what the board will see at their meeting. Actually, it'll be published this afternoon, so everybody will see it later today. So,
It's coming in the door now.
So that's next week, right?
next Thursday, the board meeting is at 3:00, and the public hearing is at 6. It's in this room, and we have an overflow at the church, right at the corner up here, Griffin and Soccer Drive, in case a bunch of people show up. Welcome, Tom.
Hello there, can we start over?
You missed all the good stuff.
That was fast.
They have a few left.
We only got a couple things left. All right.
She's fine, just had her eyes.
The communication plan.
Shall I go ahead and start?
I can tell you that Patricia has been working very hard on this with Chelsea and Randy and myself. She did the majority of the legwork. We just stuck it in a shared folder and made some tweaks, and we've been doing a lot of back and forth. So there's been a lot of effort on her part, along with staff, to get this to be something that hopefully is useful and that people will read, and then it'll be easy to understand how people understand better what you guys do, what our role is in over at Pelican, and just learn a little more about the district in general.
So just as a background, at the end of the last meeting, I sent out to all of you a document that I was thinking about might be helpful if we decided to do a more strategic approach to communicating to the Pelican Preserve residents. You at the end of the meeting said, yeah, that kind of looks good, let's go ahead. Well, it turns out that we really should have officially voted on it. And so during the last month, what I've been able to do, and this is really good, is that I've been working with the staff on developing a more strategic approach, and all of the processes have been laid out. I've had a chance to meet and have a conversation or have a conversation with all of the subcommittee chairs, and in many cases, some of their vice chairs separately, to find out if they all are in agreement that this is a good approach, which means they would work with me to develop communications. And then we would give it to the GSCD staff for final approval of accuracy, not to change the tone, not to change the style, but just to make sure we're not putting out things that are not correct. So everybody thought this was a good idea. They've also given me many ideas of what communication messages they would like to see out there. And that was part of the document that you all got, all this laundry list of possible communications. I also had a chance to sit down with Faye Formoso, who's, PPCA president, and asked for her permission to continue to use the KW database to send out our bulletins. And she said, absolutely, I've been happy to do that in the past. I will continue to make sure this is okay, as long as the message is really appropriate for our residents. She also said we would have the right to use the website, to put something in the newsletter, to go to their orientation meetings, to even be part of Circle, which is a new thing they're going to be starting that provides us an opportunity to put messages in Circle. What's it called? It's a thing.
Pelican Circle.
It's what?
It's called Pelican Circle.
Pelican Circle, which is kind of an option to Facebook for people to comment on things that are posted. In our case, we will post things, but we won't allow people to comment because that then creates a dialogue that has to be made public. So they've also, so the Gateway has said we can post things, but we just can't ask people to comment on them. But we have all these avenues available to us now. And so we're really looking at an opportunity to change the message, update the message, and make this just a more comprehensive approach. So if you all are in agreement and vote for me to go ahead with some of this, what Laura was also referring to is I just decided to go ahead and write a bulletin about the August 21st meeting. And this is an opportunity for Pelican Preserve people to go and attend the public hearing and hear what's going on, right? So just as an example of what these bulletins would look like, this is exactly what I would like to see. It tells people there's this meeting. It says the final budget may be lower than what you've seen already in the communication in July. Homeowners are urged to share ideas throughout the process, just to remind people, this is an open forum. You can come to all our meetings. You can add value. Thank you very much for adding your value. You know, just to remind people, this is not just a few people making these decisions. So, and then to top it all off, I decided we should quote Ed because of all his hard work on the budget. And then also there's a Q&A on the GSEDD and the whole budget process. Anybody cares, it's right here. Who gives authority to the GSEDD? When was it established? What does non-ad valorem taxes mean? I mean, all the answers will be here, and these guys have been great to make sure nothing is misrepresented. So, I'll share that with you. You guys give me the go-ahead to do this program.
How does this integrate with Perry Dragon's communication plan regarding the GSCDD and its interaction with Pelican Preserve?
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
What plan?
Yeah, I didn't know there was a plan.
He's going to have town meetings.
That's great.
Oh, so they'll come over and that would,
Yeah, town meetings, Faye said we can participate in the town meetings, we can, you know, have our own, we can participate in theirs,
I
yeah.
think there's one specifically that is going to focus on GSCDD. So that would be an opportunity for that to be conveyed there. I think that's what you're asking, Marty.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, does, you know, Perry know about all this, and is he
He
on
doesn't
board?
know about this because it hasn't been approved yet, but I'll be happy to meet with him. As I said, I did meet with Faye, and she gave me the go-ahead, so.
And I would caution, it's not Harry's plan, it's the PPCA's communication plan. They're going to have these town hall meetings.
What's that?
I'll make a motion to approve the communication plan as presented.
But that's before we vote. I have a question that goes back to Circle, and I think,
John seconded, just, okay.
yeah, I think Peggy's going to have to help me on this one. So when you talk about we're posting on potentially on Circle, and it's not going to offer the ability for residents to comment.
Correct.
Well, I guess that's technically capable of doing it just on this one specific area of Circle.
We have the ability with any post that's in Circle to turn the comments off.
Okay, so
It's when you create, it's the metadata of the post. You can remove who's posting it and just have it be basically, you know, just informational and no comments.
your monitors or whatever they're going to be called, if
Moderators.
someone sees something that they disagree with on what Tricia has posted from information from Gateway, and they do want to comment, they would be able to initiate their own post. Is that correct? And if so, would your monitors be aware of that and take it down? Am I making sense with that question?
Where would they post it if it's
You
not?
can post individually, as I understand, that's why I said I need Peggy, but I believe residents can individually post initiate a post on Circle.
We can also lock that down too, so only approved people can do it. But I mean, I think your question leads more into where if people have feedback. We are going to have a section out there that's about feedback to the community or whatever. So we're going to have kind of like a general area for commentary.
And that would not contradict Laura's concern about commenting on our PPAC post or gateway post?
As long as it's not saying that what we posted is incorrect, because if it is, if anybody posts that, we'll just have to, our moderators would go back and say, these are the information pieces that we've gotten from PPAC. You know,
Okay.
It's just a rebuttal.
I'm good with.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And so here is the document that I would like to post tomorrow, which reminds people of the meeting on the August 21st, gives them some background on what to expect. And then the next one would be an actual explanation. This is all one document, because it's got this.
Which one of you pass it down?
Yeah, you can test.
So real, Patricia, with this new document, because you had it in there when you were reading it before, that I think I'm going to answer my own question, that the amount may be lowered.
Yeah, maybe, Laura.
Would it be better to say that PPAC has already made a recommendation to lower it to 3%?
I would not until it's actually adopted.
No, I
that's
think
fine.
I'm better.
Not that I'm worried about the board saying no, but until it's officially adopted, it's not
Okay.
set. So I like, and I want to say thank you to Ed for your quoting here. I mean, and I, especially with Patricia too,
I don't know
about,
what I said.
He doesn't know what he's saying.
about encouraging people to come to any meeting, to not wait just until the public hearing. I mean, they can come to the PPAC meetings, the committee meetings, any board meeting. It doesn't have to just be hearings. When people come, they can email. We want to hear from people, just not like at the big things. We want to hear from them all the time. So.
I don't have time.
Be part of the process.
Yes, exactly.
This is not something, so here's the final question to you all. If I write something like this, and I've worked with all of the subcommittees on it, and we're in agreement, and then I send it to these guys and they're in agreement, at what point can I, as a member of PPAC, show this document to them and just say, by the way, this is going out and I'd like to quote you?
I would say that it's safe to send it to the greater public once we've given it our final blessing.
Right,
Yeah.
so I could do that.
But
I will.
you cannot email them outside of a meeting, so.
How do I do that?
There's sunshine law violations. You shouldn't need to, because if you're gonna send it out, they'll see it when you publish it.
Yeah, but you guys don't want to say
So
it
why
every
don't you
time?
get-
Are you comfortable with me doing it, working with the subcommittees, also with
So
Bob
why
and
don't
Carol?
you present it to the subcommittee and get the subcommittee to approve the communication?
I did that.
Is that okay for you not to see it before it goes out, everybody?
But anyway, we still need to see it.
Well,
No, no, of
I
course.
think the main thing would be it's factually checked.
Yep, and that's why
And
we would, yeah, we tried, we didn't touch it for phone, we just checked it for fact.
Can I offer,
This one's a little more, because it's not a subcommittee specific.
Right.
So it's a little more challenging.
to comment, Patricia? Having worked with the Residents Alliance and others with communications, way too much.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna
happen.
Here,
They're going, you know, they don't have to read it, but I want to have it out there. I want to post it. I want to post it on the website. I want people to know. I mean, it takes at least 2 paragraphs to understand the stuff, and I just think we need definitional things out there so people can, and if they have questions, we can then refer to this and say, by the way, it's on the website. If you want to know more about non-ad valorem taxes.
So we previously
One
printed a
thing-
trifold flyer. Some people don't want to read that.
Right.
The one thing I learned from my executives, and I assume our residents probably similar, it might be longer, but as long as you have all the critical points on the first page.
Right.
that-
Executive summary.
Yeah.
I think the intent was, this first one is gonna be a little longer just because of what Patricia said, because there's a lot of Q&A and there's a lot of laying out like who, what, why, and then the stuff going forward will be shorter.
Yeah. This is just comprehensive.
It's more like a reference document.
And there's a lot to
Exactly.
say about the budget, and there's a lot to understand about the budget. And if people don't want to read it, fine, but they can't say that we didn't share it with them.
Right. And I think we underestimate some of our residents as well. I mean, I feel there's an appetite for more information that they can consume on their own.
Sherry is the only one that will read it all.
No, Marty will. Marty will read it. He'll critique it, he'll read it.
Doug, you have a comment?
I did.
Okay.
I think the biggest challenge you're going to have in communication is right now within Pelican. Everyone thinks the new method, the majority of people think we were taken advantage of by the new methodology. And no matter what you tell, what I mean is no matter what you, it's hard to put that in words and not get the people in Gateway upset, because if it was a positive to us, it means it was not as positive to the other group. But right now, when you tell people that the new methodology was to our advantage, I can tell you the majority of people go to your throat and think you're saying something sacrilegious because they don't believe it.
Well, okay.
They don't believe it.
It's
And I think we
approved
all,
right here. What's
I
the
think-
major differences between the former and the new methodologies?
I-
Answer.
I understand.
and
We'll just keep telling
this
them.
is just propaganda. You gotta watch that it doesn't look like it's just propaganda from Gateway. I mean,
Okay, so that's the other thing, you guys. This is not propaganda from Gateway. This is coming from Pelican Preserve Advisory Committee.
Which is part of Gateway.
I know that,
GSCD.
but it's now we're going to make that the deliverer of the messages. And Gateway is there, but this is not Gateway forcing this down your throat.
The budget's a very sensitive subject because, as you know, many people in Pelican are taking offense to the amount of legal money that has been spent by the PPCA.
right.
Much of that money was used to combat the changes in the perceived changes in the methodology. To come back and say, with it waving the flag, the sky is falling, we're going to get hurt. When we come back and we say it was very favorable, those that are going to question the legal expenses are going to jump up and say, why, just point that out. On the other side of the equation is the people of Pelican Preserve are going to yell at the PPCA. Just point it out.
And it's kind of a point in time, and this year's budget, it ended up being favorable. We don't know what the impact next year and future budgets.
That's the case every year.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the,
Right. And I do think people need to be either told or it's laid out that the legal work that the PPCA did was also a pressure point during the negotiations. So, I mean, I don't feel that the money that we spent was, wasted. I think that it served a value.
Oh, we did, Peggy. I'm not worried about people who understand the process. I worry about those who take one little thing and run with it and don't get the facts.
and there was
Yeah.
a,
Point.
I mean, really, there is time if you really feel that that answer is not appropriate. Please get back to me ASAP.
So, going back to the sunshine, is Patricia able to send this out to all of us in advance, just saying, FYI, this is getting ready to go out?
It would be safer for us to pull the trigger to send it to you. Once
So if
it's done,
she
we
sent
can
it-
send it to you ahead. If it comes from staff, if it comes from her, there's
So
a
if
risk.
she-
If it comes from us, like I can talk to all of you guys whenever I want, so.
Yeah,
So just
it'll
for
come from her.
It'll come from-
process.
So we'll develop it, staff gives it its final blessing, but she'll push the button to send it out,
Okay.
like to the community. But we can send it to you guys ahead of time.
Well, that's where I was going back for
But there
process.
can't be any discussion on it, that's the whole thing.
We
So
could come
can-
back to you with discussion, couldn't we?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you're the middle, so we come back and say, I disagree with it, how this is worded. Can you advise Patricia?
no, because then it becomes go-between and it's daisy chaining, that's a sunshine law.
So could I come back and
It's more
say-
of an informational thing for us to send it out to you before it goes to the community.
all right, so we have to see something really wrong to come back to you and say, I don't.
Because, yeah, like, stop, this is a blatant error kind of thing, then, yeah, then we would figure it out,
Just
but
talk to Patricia under the code
Yeah.
of silence.
Yeah.
I would hope that, I would hope that between all of this back and forth, between what she writes and the staff looking it over, that that wouldn't happen, but I can't say that it won't, but I would hope that.
There's going to be many ways we can say things, so you're gonna have to
It'll be,
trust the subcommittee and me to come up with the best
it'll be a
way.
lot cleaner on the things that affect the subcommittees, because she'll be working with the subcommittee,
Right.
so there shouldn't be nearly as much sunshine problems with that.
And Patricia's a known entity for communication, so I have a lot of faith in her.
So are we gonna get this into the next Gateway newsletter?
I don't know what the Gateway newsletter is.
It's on the website.
I'll ask Randy.
It's better to go through the community association email distribution, because not that many people in Pelican,
Right.
the Gateway newsletter. Especially if you're not a utility.
And the only other comment I have is we're blessed right now to have somebody with the talents that Patricia has, and you always need to be careful when you develop a plan around a person.
Well, I mean,
I'm just pointing that out. I never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can decide, you know what, I'm going back to
We might have to take
Illinois.
that into
I mean,
future recruitment.
yeah.
Skill sets.
Right. It's just a point of information.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm certainly one person, but there's many people within Pelican who could help out with this.
We could, will, and will.
Could have in the
All right.
past too, but didn't.
It's been moved and seconded. Did we
All right.
vote on this?
Beautiful.
Yeah, we did vote, okay.
Yeah, we're done.
Very nice job, Patricia.
Okay, what else do we have, Laura?
That's it, set next meeting agenda.
Has any members have comments? Marty?
Okay, this will go out
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I'll be back in town.
So our next meeting is September 11th. Are we all gonna be here?
Yeah, that's my next question, is anyone not gonna be here?
I will not.
You will not. You will not.
I can
Just
remote, I
kidding,
can call.
Alan's trying to speak.
well, it won't make it a quorum.
Marty won't let me speak.
Oh,
I have a question that's not gonna be popular to answer. But I'm getting all sorts of, you know, up, and it's about the reserves.
Mhm.
Nobody seems to know, I'm getting one person that says those reserves belong to Pelican Reserve residents. Other people are saying those reserves belong to the CDD. Is there some way we can determine that? Are those-
Everything that's in the 002, which is Pelican's account, which is what you guys do your budget for, that is money that was paid in by Pelican Preserve to be spent in Pelican Preserve within your funds.
But Alan,
Okay, but I'm saying, let's just say, for instance, that the Pelican Preserve decides they want to exit from the CDD.
Yep.
Who
The money
gets
goes back to the people who paid into it, which would be the residents in Pelican.
it has to go back to all of the taxpayers, which is.
Whoever owns the property,
I'm hearing both sides,
that's,
so,
I can guarantee you that whoever paid them in, which is not Gateway, it's Pelican, so anyone, and C5 had paid in some, the commercial paid in some, the golf course paid in some, so whatever properties were assessed the dollars that made up that pool of cash are the ones that would get credited back.
Oh, it either has to be spent for Pelican or
Correct.
refunded.
Like we're
to
doing with
the
Stony Brook
residents.
right now, they're spending their reserves down, so basically, the goal is to have $0 left by the end of the fiscal year, so there won't be anything left to
Now,
disperse.
just as FYI, PPCA has a legal opinion.
they did get one.
Yes, and it says exactly what Larson, so, and what it says, if you, right now, you can spend all of the money.
Right,
You can do everything you want with it and get rid of it. Should you leave, you can't say, well, we're gonna leave this back here and we'll tap into it. Laura's correct.
there's a small
Yeah,
caveat
split.
on the spending part, it has to be spent on district assets.
Yes.
Yeah, so
They must have got that legal opinion when they were looking at what would it take in order to exit. Is that correct?
And I had a related question, it just was. So if the Board of Supervisors was looking at our budget,
Mhm.
hypothetically, and let's say we did lower it, we left it at 12%, and the board of supervisors would have preferred it be 3%,
Mhm.
do they have the ability to take our reserves and use it to lower our
They
budget?
do. I have never seen them do that.
Just wondering, it can be done.
But yes, they do. There, it is ultimately the board's budget. So the board generally, only does things like that for the general
And it had to
fund.
be used for
Yeah,
Pelican
they-
property assets.
Yeah, you, between the subcommittees doing their budgets and you guys looking over it and staff chiming in and Stephen Bloom chiming in, I have never seen them change the Pelican budget. Not saying it can't happen, but the 5, 6 budgets that I've been through now, I've never seen it happen. That's what's nice about having a group of residents taking care of their own budget, so.
With respect to the money being in 002, there's never been a different opinion than what Laura's saying. It's always been out. I know I've heard people say, is it? The answer is, it's never changed. PPCA reconfirmed it. It's always your money.
One other question, maybe Bob or Carol. So the board, as I understand, when they received the budget, it had the, for Pelican, the O2, it had the lower number presented to them, not the high water, but that you clarified to them that,
Oh, yeah, you weren't.
I heard you,
Yeah,
but I
I did clarify that that was just a number that was thrown in there at your last meeting and that you were gonna be discussing it today and making a formal recommendation, and that would be what would be presented to them.
Oh, okay.
So last week they did see it with the 262, but that caveat was there, so.
right. So the board lowered the percentage of the gateway tax, is that correct?
Not yet, they asked me to figure out the number, so that's
Okay,
what'll be
so-
showing, that's what'll be showing up in the budget that I sent to Georgia during the meeting, so that'll be published online today.
That 3% did not influence that.
No, yours is completely separate. The changes that I made in the general fund only affects Gateway, the rest of Gateway.
Because they're going into reserves too, and they don't have a lot of reserves, as I understand.
We have some, not as many as you, but we do have some.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
I have a question. Is anybody a member of the Pelican Preserve Facebook page?
which one?
I don't know. I'm not on any of them, but it might be a good idea if anything comes up on those pages that are worth sharing at a meeting, like this is what people are griping about.
When you talk, no, stay seated.
Stay
Just stay seated. You're on camera. We'll pick you up. You're fine.
Just a question about if anybody is on there and finds things that we should correct the record on, let me know and we can do that.
You need to be on the page to do that. When people post things that are incorrect on, there are 2 Facebook pages. Let's just go there. One we tolerate, the other we hate. I do. Let me back that up. I do. The Facebook for all, Pelican for all, tends to be the nicer one with people asking information, sharing information. If someone posts something out there that would say, Gateway's raising our tax 12%, we can correct that. But you do need to be a Facebook member of that page. And if there's something that's easy to correct, I will do that because I'm a member of a page, but only factual. Don't get into opinion debates.
Okay.
The
So
other.
you're already doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
The other page is the Pelican Preserve F&B Alliance. That is that can tend to be a very hostile page toward Pelican Preserve and anything associated with money, with a tremendous amount of misinformation, tremendous amount. I don't belong to that page, I don't want to be associated with that page, so I'll just go individually, that's my decision. If I was, and if I went to correct one of the statements made by the 5 administrators of that page, they would take my post down in a heartbeat.
Yep.
They don't want the accurate information. So, but.
Okay.
Peggy's nodding in agreement. I know you can't see her, but I can.
Well, let's be
I mean, they're not exercising a fiduciary duty?
fiduciary. They are communications control people that shut down destinations, bottom line, it's it.
And if you put a correct factual correction out there, it just
Don't make them look
goes
bad.
into name calling. and-
Yep. Very personal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not civil.
But Pelican for all.
Right.
And so we have somebody who's a member, but I'm not, but.
Hopefully, there's probably 8 or 10 Pelicans, because some of the neighborhoods have their own
Yeah, they have their
Facebook
own,
pages. The Rackets have, hopefully when Circle gets established, a lot of those will kind of
Right, that's a part
go
of it.
away, so.
Yeah, that's
Patricia,
the
you may
goal.
find this hard to believe, but I am not on social media.
You are social media.
Marty, I love you.
Okay. Your motion to adjourn.
Oh, wait, hang on, okay.
I will be here September 11th.
I'll be here.
Hang on, okay, so is anybody not gonna be here? You said you can maybe join online, we'll send you an invite if you wanna join. Everyone else will be here, is there anything that you want
I'll
to
be
have
online.
on the agenda for next time? Before we go?
What's
I mean, I
the
can
date
see a
of
budget
the meeting
recap,
again?
will be on there, but
What is the date of our next meeting?
September 11th,
I'll be online.
you'll be online? Okay. As long as we'll have 4 people with their butts in the chairs, we'll have a quorum.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Thank you with that.
You guys, you 4 here, okay. All right, anything that you want to have on the agenda for next time?
Not that I know of.
Okay, if you think of anything before the end of the month, shoot me an email or send it to the agenda at gatewaydistrict.org. I'll make sure it gets on there.
Laura, thank you for your time.
Thank you, the boss is sitting in the car with a patch on the run.
Motion to adjourn.
You're okay with that?
Oh, she does one.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Are we good then? We're adjourned?
Getting her to allow me to come
The
in.
next communication,
Are we-
we have is.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, we're adjourning. Bye, Maggie.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Peggy.
It's an explanation of all